Skippy, Scallop, A Tale of Bright Blue Eyes. Skippy Scallop was teeny tiny. He was just a little egg floating free in the sea. The water was cloudy from so many drifting eggs, there were millions of baby scallops, but hungry sea animals eat almost every one of them. Skippy Scallop was scared, and there was nothing he could do but drift in the water. "What can I do to be safe?" he cried one day. He hoped someone would be listening. A crusty old scallop, Big Blue Eyes, was the only one who heard him. He was a big bivalve with many bright blue eyes showing between his two shells. "Quick!" Big Blue Eyes warned. "Here comes Crabby and Nabby. Climb up on a tall blade of grass. The crabs won't find you there." Skippy Scallop scurried up a blade of eelgrass. He hung on tightly to his new home with a special thread. "How long will I need to stay here? Will I someday have bright blue eyes like you?" Skippy asked Big Blue Eyes. "When you are a little older, you can drop down to the bottom," Big Blue Eyes replied. "Then you can clap your shells together and skip away. Soon, you'll have many blue eyes like mine. We can see only shadows, but our eyes will always warn of moving things that might hurt us." Big Blue Eyes had lived only 2 years, but that's old for a scallop. He had escaped from many a sea star and crab. The old scallop looked like he had been around for a long time. His upper shell was covered with tiny plants and animals growing on it. Big Blue Eyes could easily hide with all that on top of his shell. And those tiny animals had a free ride to food every day, wherever the scallop went. Crabby and Nabby could hurt even an old scallop like Big Blue Eyes. He didn't like to be around them. "I'm leaving now," he said. Big Blue Eyes quickly clapped his shells together and shot out jets of water. Then he slipped and slid backwards. Skippy Scallop watched Big Blue Eyes jet away and wished that he could be bigger and older. But he slurped plankton, tiny plants and animals, and stayed on that blade of grass. Before long, he was big enough to drop down to the bottom. His 2 little shells had grown larger, and there were bright blue eyes between them. Danger was everywhere for a young scallop, but Skippy could do 2 things. 1, close his shells quickly whenever an enemy was near, or 2, clap his shells together and skip away. Skippy soon grew larger from eating plenty of plankton. He found other scallops and began to live with them. The scallops rested in the bottom while they ate. They didn't burrow like their cousins, the clams. One day, while he was feeding, Skippy's new blue eyes warned him, "Look out for danger." And sure enough, an animal that would like to eat Skippy was moving toward him. It was Spiny Sea Star. Skippy was scared. Quickly, he clapped his shells together and skipped away backwards. Skippy moved so fast that sand kicked up in the water. It helped to hide the young scallop, and Spiny Sea Star couldn't find him. Skippy Scallop skipped for joy. He was safe one more time. But he skipped right by the den of another scary animal, Oozy Octopus. There were shells for many meals in front of his den. Big Blue Eyes appeared again beside Skippy. "Quick! Move away from there," he warned. "Look at all those shells from scallops that didn't escape from Oozy Octopus." Skippy listened to Big Blue Eyes and quickly skipped away from Oozy's den. Then Skippy's Blue Eyes warned him that strange big animals were swimming close to him. But Big Blue Eyes told Skippy, "You don't need to be afraid this time." "Those are helpful humans," he said. "I've seen them before. They have come to the bay to see how many scallops they can count." Helpful humans hope that we are healthy. They know that scallops can't live here unless the water is clean. "I'm glad that humans care about us," Skippy said. Then he clapped his shells together and happily skipped away.